What are we doing today, Barbara?
We're visiting a monument, the RANI JI KI BAORI.
What do we know about this monument?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, that's how Travels with Lobo is.
Sometimes.
You know nothing.
Sometimes.
Hopefully, in the end, you know something.
Yeah. All right.
So we're going to the RANI JI KI BAORI. And now the view that Rudyard Kipling would have seen as he stayed here for 2 days.
I think it's our pace.
What's wrong with our pace?
Well, we did quite a lot of moving around.
We move every second day, right? That's the pace to go at if you don't want to get bored. With that, if you come to India, you got to come in December, January, February. Temperature today. We decided not to take malaria pills, even though all of India calls for malaria pills. Down, down, and down to get to water. This beauty. You gotta admit, you never seen anything like this before. Now, we are not at Goats on the Roof in Coombs, British Columbia, but there are goats here, and we're at the Sukh Mahal, right here. A snippet of information about the Sukh Mahal. It was built by Raja Vishnu Singh, 1773 to 1821, under the supervision of his Diwan Sukram in 1776, hence it is named Sukh Mahal. Rudyard Kipling, the famous British writer, stayed in it for 2 days and wrote very highly of valuable significance of Bundi's man-made and natural heritage. Rudyard Kipling stayed right here in the Sukh Mahal. I am so impressed with what the British did in India. Sure, it was colonization, but it was still impressive. After the bedlam, and that's the only way to describe inner city life in India, sheer bedlam, it is amazing to find this solitude. As the discovery process takes us step by step to something more revealing. That's the beauty of travel. As long as you don't trip on the stairs. And yes, there are washrooms here, which is nice. They haven't been as difficult to find as I would have imagined in India, and they haven't been as terrible as some stories tell. And that is the story of India. A fabulous place for a videographer. The material is so rich. Makes Europe, North America, pretty tame in comparison to what is revealed on the Indian subcontinent. And we're just talking here northern India, specifically Rajasthan, the fabulous province of Rajasthan, where practically everybody who starts their tour of India includes Rajasthan. Nice. Look at this, Barb. Great view of the lake. The sounds of India. The horns are used as a notification that I'm coming through. And on the back of every truck is written, blow your horn. So they know you're coming. Some Hindu symbols. So peaceful, so tranquil. Reminds me of Lake Como in Italy. Fascinating architecture. Barb says she can't imagine being here in the summer, and I would totally agree with that. If you come to India, you got to come in December, January, February. Temperature today, a high today maybe of what, 20?
25 maybe?
Maybe 25, yeah, which is totally bearable. We decided not to take malaria pills, even though all of India calls for malaria pills, but this is the winter season. And yesterday in Bundi, while we were having a coffee, was the first time we saw mosquitoes. Not intense, but we saw mosquitoes, so that was a cause of worry. But normally, later in the year, the temperatures may go to as high as 48. That would be tough to take. The noise of India and the heat. What do you think of this, Barb?
Quite lovely.
Yeah. Quiet, yeah. Just what you need.
Yeah.
You haven't been feeling that great the last 2 days, right?
No.
Tell the folks about how you've been feeling.
Just under the weather a bit. Tired, very tired.
Yeah. I had one morning when I was just ready to check up my cookies. Took some Pepto-Bismol and felt better. Didn't eat much that day, ate nothing, but felt okay.
I think it's our pace.
What's wrong with our pace?
Well, we did quite a lot of moving around.
We move every second day, right? That's the pace to go at if you don't want to get bored. And just when we had a dying need to see a museum, here's a museum, a government museum of Bundi. Not sure whether it's open. There's a lock on it, Barb. Do you see the lock?
Yeah, I think a lot.
Oh, right. That usually means it's locked.
But there's two men sitting there.
Two men sitting there. They're guarding the lock.
We can ask if we go in.
How logical is that?
We can ask if we can go in.
Yeah. Well, you know how I feel about museums, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind?
No, just taking a glance around.
I'll do it for you. And now the view that Rudyard Kipling would have seen as he stayed here for 2 days, merrily writing away. The story of Bundi. What a life he must have had. Kipling, I mean. And Barbara points out there's a ghat down there. See if I can find it. Right there's a ghat. Ghat right there. What is a ghat? A ghat are steps leading down to the water for bathing, for religious reflection, and I guess for cleaning up. Laundry's got to be a huge problem here, but they just beat the crap out of everything, and somehow the dirt comes out. Guess that's what happens in a washing machine. Our visit to the Mahal was on Lake Jait Sagar. This ancient lake was formerly a small pond. Rajmata Jaywati, mother of Raja Surja in 1554 to 85, got it deepened and a strong bank was constructed in 1588. Hence it is called Jait Sagar. Then it extended 3 kilometers up to Shambhu Sagar, the lake. Downtown Bundi on the next day. Cleaning the streets. Our van. Barbara taking a photo. What are we doing today, Barbara?
We're visiting a monument, the RANI JI KI BAORI.
What do we know about this monument?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. That's how Travels with Lobo is. You know nothing.
Sometimes.
Hopefully in the end you know something.
Yeah. All right.
So we're going to the RANI JI KI BAORI in Bundi. And it's a protected monument. Raniji Ji Ki Baori. Bundi is known as the city of Stepwells. Never heard of that before. Stepwells. It has about 50 beautiful tanks and stepwells called Baoris. This one known as RANI JI KI BAORI, or Queen Stepwell, which is the best because of its architectural beauty. Built in 1699 AD. Further down it says Baoris is used to be a center of religious and social functions in those days. So we're here to see some beautiful tanks and stepwells called Baoris. These are the world famous stepwells. Still don't quite understand what stepwells are. Lots of steps. Lots of steps. What is that, Barbara?
You go deep into the well with steps. You can
Okay.
walk into the well.
Barb says you go where?
Deep into the well.
Deep into the well. Looks
Yeah.
like here.
This is where you go down.
Now look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. You gotta admit, you never seen anything like this before. Now, this step well, I mean, do you interpret that to be a well, Barbara,
Yes,
or what?
literally a well.
To get the water? So you're taking the first steps with us down the stepwells. Just a thing of beauty. Quite stunning. As it continues down, down, and down to get to water. I'm sure this well was not here originally. There's a hole over here for the pigeons. Right there, and through that hole. More steps and to the water. Look at it from up here. I guess this was extremely important as a source of water once upon a time. But they sure didn't make it ordinary. Good job, guys. For us to admire many, many years later. Hi, Barb. Nice to see you here. Glad you came. And back up the stairs of the stairwells. How nice is that?